When I was down in the Stephen Avenue Mall busking, and thank you, Don, for reading my biography and for hosting tonight, I remember standing there on a nice summer's day and this lady coming up to me and saying, God, you must be terrified to be out here by yourself. At that time, there wasn't many police officers in downtown Calgary patrolling. That has changed. It's now quite safe, but at that time, it wasn't. So I said to her, I'm not alone. There's 1,000 dead poets behind me, propping me up. Anyways, she was quite attractive, so I read this piece for her. The way I attracted attention when I was busking is I'd say to people, time for a sample of poetry, time for a sample of poetry. Do you have time for a sample of poetry? Time for a sample of poetry. This was her sample of poetry. It's called Stiffness. Foam bubble bath on an ass cheek evaporates when a towel is applied, only to be replaced by the moisture of my lips upon it. Erotic, you say? Reality, if I may. 10 years from now, I'll still kiss your ass without being asked to do so. What is even more bizarre is I'm going to like it. Foam bubble bath on a nipple evaporates when blown on and leaves only a stiffness in its wake. That's my little pit bull Chihuahua cross. Her name is Tiny. She's out of control right now, but she'll settle down or we'll have to spray her with water. So I'm right now reading from a collection called Imaginative Spasms, the Postmodern Poems of Scott Alderson. My books are available, sorry, before I go into that, Imaginative Spasms is my first 7 books, plus a new collection that I published on Facebook. So Imaginative Spasms and Finding Jamie that I'll be reading from tonight are available at 2 bookstores in Calgary. One is called Pages Books on Kensington. The other is called Shelf Life Books. They both have online ordering and they will mail it through Canada Post. This is called Showing Sadness Rarely. Among a group of quitters, you were terminated, escorted off the premises, basically humiliated. Obscenities escaped your orifice as you gave the one finger salute. Time to find another job before you are broke and destitute. Among a group of losers, maybe you can win the bonus prize, the booby prize, win, win, win. Horseshoes in your butt or insurmountable bad luck. How is your life going to be? One disappointment after another, or will you seize the opportunity? Take a risk, take a chance, stand solid in adversity. Among a cluster of humans, you can coexist, showing sadness rarely. So, as was mentioned, I have primary progressive multiple sclerosis. I'm in a wheelchair. I may or may not be wearing pants. That is for you to decide. You can't see that part of the screen, and I won't show you. This next piece is written about a friend. I get through life right now, especially with a lot of help from my friends. Sounds like a Beatles song, doesn't it? Anyhow, my friends keep me going, and some are watching tonight. My good friend Rich is a godsend. I love my friends, and they show their love all the time to me as well. And when they leave this life, it leaves a void. It takes a piece of my heart, a piece of my soul. This was written for one of them. And I should mention before I read this that I've known Kirk Miles for 21 years now. We met at South Country Fair in Fort Macleod. If you've never been to South Country Fair, I recommend it. Kirk, bang up job tonight. Awesome job. This is called For Fudge. This work is dedicated to Steve Gillespie, also known as Eat Lard Fudge. Rest in peace, old friend. I want to believe that people like you, when they die, become stars that guide nomads. For you are so brilliant and shining, gifted with wisdom and words, to let others see the spirit within, now serving to direct weary travelers. I want to believe that you are reacquainting yourself with your mother and others that left this life before you. My selfish nature wishes you could have remained for one more chance to express how much I cherished our friendship and camaraderie. So many peace pipes smoked between us poets. So many faces have said goodbye. Over years, the casualties are mounting. Another great artist gone. No one else made me laugh as hard as you in the literary salon at Annie's Books Company in Calgary. Tuesday night poetry reading when you were Steve Gillespie, poet from Victoria. who grew up in a dysfunctional home, had a dysfunctional heart, never fully recovered mentally or physically, became dysfunctional, who I called friend. I want to believe that people like you, when they die, leave behind people like me to tell others how genuine you were. And the crowd goes crazy. Okay, now we're going to take a jump into a more recent compilation released in February of 2021. Sorry, not February, September. I jump ahead. And this first poem, the book is called Finding Jamie. I found out 2.5 years ago that I have a daughter. She's 36 years old. We were cultivating a relationship over the last 2.5 years. I also have 2 granddaughters who are 8 and 5. But this first piece is also a YouTube video. So if nothing else, check out YouTube. The poem is called Pondering. And the YouTube video is only 1 minute long. It's just me reading the poem. So here goes, Pondering. She said she needed proof of God's existence. So I showed her a sunrise in Banff. Not good enough. I introduced her to my friend who survived cancer, watched newborns in a maternity ward, waited patiently for first blade of grass. What more do you need? I inquired. Positive proof, she declared while exiting. The car crash was an accident, always is. Most would have died. She sat silently beside her wreckage and cried. I understand now, she exclaimed to me. Proof has nothing to do with pudding. It lies in survival, one day at a time struggles. Poof, your number is called, or not. God is love, I proclaimed. We kissed and walked away, pondering. I wrote this next piece for my eldest granddaughter. She's 8 now, she'll be 9 in September, but I wrote this for Lily. Tell all the dolls and bears named Teddy. Lily is 7 years old already. Seems like just yesterday she was 6 years old. Many stories to be told. Could be prime minister even now. Might do a better job somehow, but I believe her destiny lies elsewhere. Whether to be a supermodel, a super doctor, a talented musician, a hairstylist like her mom, or an esthetician, perhaps a poet. Today, enjoy being a child. For whatever you choose, it will be good for you. It is what is on the inside that matters, and your heart is good. So much information to share, so many things to say, but mostly that Grandpa Scott loves you. Happy birthday. And we're going to end this piece, this reading tonight, with a piece that I posted on Facebook. If you're not a Facebook friend of mine, why aren't you? Please send me a Facebook friend request. Let's get together. And thank you, Parkland Poets, for tonight. Thank you, Stephanie, for reaching out to me. It's been an honor and a privilege to participate in open mic. I leave you with this last piece. It's called Addict. I wasn't born addicted. Some have been. Family loved me, still do. Who knew as I grew, facing challenges, obstacles, and grief, not to be brief, but life goes on. PTSD, some say, I concur. Process perhaps, learned behavior, psychological reaction, detailed distraction, new toys in a sandbox, fantasy furlough, battle raging, but life goes on. Seek not pity, empathy preferred, time wasted on apologies, recovery repairs, tangled hairs, foreign thoughts, find familiar home, drug of choice irrelevant, feelings are the same, life goes on. Sitting on sidelines until one day, someday, pills are put down, needles exchanged, pipes placed on tables, alcohol abandoned. Then hope is found. Once again, in the end, life goes on. I am Scott. I'm an addict. Thank you very much.